Alright, mate. Yeah, good morning. Let's have a look here. INJ. It's been a while since we've updated. I mean, it's been up here in this neckline. Maybe I shouldn't have called it a neckline, but whatever. You know, it's moved up here and it's in this consolidation pattern. But so far it's looking good. I mean, this is a bullish candle. This is a bullish 2-week candle. It's a bullish 2-week stop hunt. It's a bullish retest of this support of the large breakup candle and the move back to, because this is a reversal candle. You can see it's a bullish engulfing candle, and then it's a pullback into the lows of the candle. So at this point, I mean, technically, if I move this here, technically, I mean, it's still bullish above there, and you could probably move that up to the open there. I mean, this is now technically bullish until we are told otherwise. There is a very notably, you can see that drop in the volume. I mean, it's not great, but it's okay at times. There's no change yet, but you can see obviously in an uptrend you're going to get strong volume. Look at this strong volume here. So that's what you want to see in an uptrend. We don't have that at the moment, but we are in a consolidation pattern. But why I said that it might be okay, is because there's a possibility, and we don't know yet, but there's a possibility of a breakout in volume. If you get a breakout in volume, well, it might actually start to fuel this on another leg. We just don't know yet. But at this point in time, this is bullish. This is a bullish 2-week setup. There is 5 days left. In an ideal world, and the way it should work here is there should be some dips down into here. Maybe that's too low. I didn't mean to draw it so low. Kind of there, the yellow 9 EMA here area down in there, and this previous high here. The previous open, I should say. So price should fall kind of into this area. Well, but it doesn't have to fall into that area, but if it did fall into that area, dips should be buying opportunities to then go higher, and then this should continue on its kind of merry way higher. Now there is 5 days left. We don't know how this is going to close yet, but so far technically this is there's nothing wrong with this so far. Price should go higher. In strong trends, you'll not even get a dip, right? Sometimes it just opens up and just goes. A very small dip. You might get a small wick below it. And maybe I shouldn't draw this candle so big. I'm not trying to get your hopes up, but what I'm trying to say is that there should be more upside, right? And we got to watch that. We got to watch to see where it's going to go. There is a neckline here. See this point right here? That's a very important resistance point. That is where price broke down. There was a reversal here, double top, and this sort of neckline kind of area here, it was a breakdown. It retested it here. So we need to see what happens when we get up to this level at 789. So that is that's my shorter time frames. I mean, it's in the next week or two. This bullish stop hunt right here, that's kind of holding it up well. This overall though, this is not great overall. It's tricky. Like it's a double top. It's a bearish rejection. You have to think that bounces up here have the possibility of rolling over again, right? It really depends how bullish and bearish the market is overall. But I think bounces up here at this point are, until we're proven otherwise, have a good possibility of potentially rolling over. Bounces up here could be shorts. Look at the giant volume here, like this giant volume right here. Now, what I always say is in the giant volume there is a possibility of going above them. Now, can we get above that to then drop back down? I don't know. I'm not sure about that yet. We need to watch this because this technically is a kind of a bearish setup overall. But we are consolidating. That bearish setup can get negated. If we consolidate out here, there's a possibility, of forming some sort of bullish pattern, right? But it's a bit early. I would probably say, I probably drew that a bit not great there. I would say that there's a possibility there's some sort of pattern forming here. Now, then it's going to, when we come into the end of this pattern, then we're going to get a big break, either there or here. And that's what's forming at the moment. So we do have to watch carefully. I do think there's more upside in the near term. God, it's a flip of a coin there. Really, Don't get me wrong, this was one of the strongest coins in the market. The problem is right now, I mean, there it is right there. That is it's not a bearish stop up, but it's a consolidation candle. So the likelihood is, in my opinion, that it can become more red, right? I think there's a possibility of more red. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It just means that we're in a dip consolidation phase. If I change that to red, if I can find that toolbar, you know, maybe we need to dip down more before then on a new year, when you get that next leg higher, for example, right? Because this is, at this point in time, this is a red 6-month candle after a giant move up. So some dip and some consolidation here are very normal, and I would probably like to think that there can be more dip than what we're seeing here, which is normal. Okay, I'm just kind of going by normals. It wouldn't be extreme to see the price drop down to here, for example. Now if I go back into the daily chart, well, you can kind of see what that is. So as I was talking about earlier, there's a real possibility that bounces up here can maybe fail and come back down, right, just to fill out that 6-month candle. This pattern here reminds me of Bitcoin back in 2019, 2020, I forget now what year it was, but let's look at it actually. You know, here, if we look at this here, you get this move up, you get this sort of pattern right here. Well, it becomes a bearish descending triangle eventually, but when you break back below the white 100 moving average, that's bearish. That's not a good sign. That's what you don't want to see, okay, on the daily chart. But you can see, you know, it's creating lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. You need to create this base in the neckline. Now if we look here, well, you know, price is below the white 100 moving average here, so you want to see it recapture that white 100 moving average and stay above it. Below it becomes dangerous, okay? So I'm not saying it's, you know, it's not identical pattern, but you can kind of see the big move up and then the lower highs. So we need to see now where this lower high comes at. Is this going to do something like that, and then come back inside the white 100, drop down and get a flush, right? That's, you know, that's a real possibility. But the overall pattern is very bullish, but there can be pullbacks and dips, just like Bitcoin did. Bitcoin actually dropped and then went into COVID crash, and actually I mean, Bitcoin came back and tested the neckline here, right down to here. I don't know if INJ will do that, but you know, it's always a possibility. In the meantime, what we need to be watching is how this develops, how this section develops here. You know, price needs to recapture the white 100 first. You know, this, I don't know what's the best way to draw this. I know that's kind of missing that top, but we just need to watch the development of this here and see how this plays out. It doesn't have to play out the same, but there's a lot of similarities. You have this neckline down here, you have the big run up, you have this sort of forming lower highs with a neckline and all the rest. So we'll just have to watch it. At this point, it is a red 6-month candle. I don't think that's going to change too much. We've already taken liquidity in up above. You know, so as long as we are red on this 6-month candle here, there's still an overall bearish bias, but seems to be more upside in the near term. Those bounces in the near term can possibly be shorts back down.